The last topic we're covering for microphone selection is how much should you spend on a microphone, and I want to preface this by saying you do not need to spend a fortune to sound good. I made an entire video about diminishing returns with microphones, and to summarize that, generally speaking, I think that XLR Dynamic mics exhibit diminishing returns around $100. XLR condensers exhibit diminishing returns really around $250. And then with USB microphones, I think diminishing returns really start to hit around $100. And once you get above that, you may not be getting significantly better sound, but you're paying for additional features that you may be looking for. But just talking about it obviously isn't good enough, so I'm going to give you a bunch of samples in each of these categories so you can hear what I'm talking about. First up on the XLR Dynamic front, this is the Behringer XM8500, and this costs about $25. This is an anomaly. Most $25 microphones do not sound this good. Secondly, we've quadrupled in price to $100. This is the Shure SM58, one of the most popular and most ubiquitous microphones out there. This is the $100 microphone. There you go, that's the SM58. Here's another $100 XLR Dynamic mic. This is the SE Electronics V7, one of my favorites, but you can tell why $100 is where diminishing returns really kick in. These just sound good. Here is another $100 XLR Dynamic. This is the Sennheiser E835. Just to give you a different flavor, this is much brighter, much more condenser-like. $100, there you go. Let's do some more. This is a $100 broadcast-style dynamic mic, the Rode Pod mic. This is how this sounds, another $100 mic. All of these will give you sound that very few people will complain about. Rode Pod mic. Now we've jumped up in price to $450. That is quite a leap. This is the Electro Voice RE20. This is a broadcast classic, a broadcast standard. Sounds great. There you go. Those are the dynamic samples I'm giving you. What about condensers? First up, I'm on the Neewer NW700. This microphone costs about $20 as well. Doesn't sound amazing, but it functions. That's $20. Now I'm on the SE Electronics X1A. This costs about $100 and sounds fantastic. Honestly, if you got this, I don't think anybody would complain, but let's hear some higher priced mics anyway. Next, I'm on the Rode NT1 5th Gen. This costs about $250. This is where I think diminishing returns really kick in on condensers. This isn't just XLR, it also has USB, so it has some additional functionality as well, but that's this mic. Next, on the Lewitt LCT440 Pure, this costs about $270, so right in that sweet spot where diminishing returns kick in on condensers. This is a brighter microphone. There you go. Let's jump up quite a bit in price. Now I'm on the AKG C414 XLS. This costs about $1,250, so 5x the price almost of the last microphone. I don't think the sound quality is 5 times better, but you are getting a lot more features here. 9 polar patterns, 3 pads, 3 high-pass filters. It is just an insanely versatile studio workhorse. And it has some brand recognition, and this is a very famous microphone model, so you're probably paying a premium for that as well. And why wouldn't we end on the Neumann, hello Neumann, U87AI. This mic costs $3,700. I do not think it sounds 10 times better than some of these cheaper alternatives. It does have a distinct sound. You're getting multiple polar patterns, a pad, a high-pass filter, but you're also paying that Neumann tax. You're also paying that 87 tax. It is a famous microphone that has a very specific sound, and you are paying a premium for all of that, but it does sound good. Not $3,000 or more better than these cheaper mics, though. To start out the USB section, I am on the Samson Go mic. This thing costs between $30 and $40, but I bought it on sale for $20. It sounds way better than it has any right to. It has a second polar pattern if you want omnidirectional. it's just a killer deal. It's an anomaly though. A lot of $30 mics do not sound this good. Now I am on another Samson mic, the Q2U. This costs, I believe, around $70. It is an XLR and USB mic, so you can use either USB, XLR, or both if you want to do that. This is dynamic. Yep, that's it. Now I am on the classic Blue Yeti, which I have owned for maybe 8 or 9 years. This costs about $90 to $120, which is what I paid for it all those years ago. Multiple polar patterns, limited conversion, no DSP. It can sound fine if you use it well. Most of you should be using the cardioid pattern. Gain, stage it properly, and it's fine. Next up, I'm on the Elgato Wave 3, which costs about $150. You may not be thinking it sounds way better than the prior microphones, but it's starting to introduce additional features like a full mixing software for your stream, a limiter, the ability to add VST plugins, stuff like that. So that's what you're getting for the additional price. And the last USB microphone that I'm including is the Rode NT USB Plus. Not only do I think it sounds great, but you're also getting the addition of DSP, or digital signal processing. You get a little bit of EQ capability, compression, noise gate, and a high pass filter if that's what you're looking for. But there you go. Those are the USB tests or demos for you. To wrap up the topic about buying microphones, I have a couple pieces of advice. First would be buy the best that you can afford. If you know you like creating content and you have $100 to spend on a microphone, get a $100 microphone because that's going to be much higher quality than a $20 microphone. And in the long run, it will save you money because you're not going to have to replace something that fails constantly every couple years. Secondly, do not go into debt to buy audio gear. It is not worth it, in my opinion, having that debt hanging over your head. It takes out so much joy out of recording, and on top of that, there are so many great sounding affordable options that you don't need to go into debt to start recording. You can spend 30, 50, 70 bucks and be off to the races while you save up to buy your dream gear. So do not go into debt to buy audio gear. The last piece of advice that I have is if you don't know that you like making content, that you like making videos, podcasts, or streams, I would advocate against going out and dropping a bunch of money on audio gear, whether it be hundreds or thousands, because what's going to happen then if you get all the gear only to realize you hate the process of recording and editing and publishing and you don't want to do it? Then you're stuck in the situation where you have to offload that at a huge loss, and that's not fun for anybody. Except for the person who's benefiting off of you and buying a bunch of awesome gear at a huge discount. They're laughing and having a great time. So I would recommend just getting something that's affordable to see if you like the process, like a USB mic or an affordable XLR mic. And once you have a few recordings under your belt and you realize you like it, then start looking at investing in higher end gear, and then you just have a backup in case anything goes wrong. All right, that's going to conclude the topic of how to select the right microphone. I really hope you found this helpful, and in the next module, for lack of a better term, we'll be discussing how to select the right audio interface, and if it's available, there will be a link to it directly beneath me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Whoa, boop.